Hi, friends. Hope you're well today. I have a question for you. Are you still looking for the love of your life? That's a question that comes up for a lot of us. It took 50 years, but mine turned up in the most unexpected way. I just want to tell you a little story about that. I was married for 27 years to a man who had two active addictions and a lot of deep wounds from his childhood. And there's a whole book that I could write about that. I may do that one day, but there were many gifts and trials. But for now, I just want to say that my children and I were really lucky that we survived it. And although it left all of us with issues that we had to work through, we're all doing really well. I can still see that day clearly. It wasn't long after my divorce. I was stuck in this belief that I couldn't be happy alone, that I needed someone to, complete me. I was 50, but I might as well have been 19. I was floundering around in the emotional emptiness that, quite frankly, I had been part of creating. And I kept messing up, just like I did as a young, naive woman, searching for that mythological special person in all the wrong places. And then out of nowhere, in a quiet moment of feeling empty and defeated, and this happens usually when we're in that open state, this thought dropped into my head and it felt like it came from somewhere beyond me, some place, inspired place in the universe. And I always know that it's not my voice because of how fast it hits my mind. And it was this: you don't need to find love. You have all the love you need because you are love. And in that moment, honestly, everything just changed for me. I began to embody the truth of those words in my life, and I energetically began to project it in my interactions with others. I no longer felt alone and unfulfilled, and I began to build a life of my own on my own terms. It wasn't easy and it didn't happen overnight. It took time, but it was the worthiness of my essential being beginning to break through all those lies that I'd been believing about myself. And then one night, as if in affirmation of this journey that I'd been on to fully understand the concept of self love, I had this viscerally evocative dream. And in this nocturnal landscape, I, feeling centered and strong and whole, walked into what I would characterize as a dark and gloomy room of ruins, kind of like an abandoned house. And I was both in the dream and observing the dream. Standing alone in the room was a young woman who was clearly in distress. She was angry, confrontational, forlorn, as if she'd been abandoned. We didn't speak, and I could tell she just wanted to be left alone. But I walked up to her feeling so much compassion and empathy, and I drew her to me. I put my arms around her, hugging her tightly. I mean, I really held on to her. And though she was resisting me and struggling with all her might, she really wanted not to be there. I wouldn't let her go. And it felt like an epic contest of wills to see which one of us was going to give up first. But I refused to release her, almost feeling like if I held on to her, that love I was feeling inside myself would kind of seep into her. And eventually she ceased to struggle. She just kind of went limp. And at that moment when that happened, she literally began to melt into me and we merged into one person. And I was watching this all the time. It was just a stunning thing to see. And when I awakened, I understood what the meaning of that dream was. And eventually in my waking life too, with hard work and persistent belief that I was enough, a sense of peace and wholeness took hold that in, the ensuing 23 years has remained. All the things that are necessary to make a relationship work are the same things that we need to work on individually, on ourselves: unconditional love, compassion, patience, empathy, acceptance of our flaws, being courageous and responsible, truthful, and above all, uncompromisingly authentic with others, but mostly with ourselves, telling the truth about ourselves. Culture feeds us this lie that to be happy, we have to be coupled with someone. Ultimately, except for our mutual and eternal connection to each other as our spirit selves after we pass, we're all engaging this grand experiment of life in a body on our own. And as Michael Singer states in his brilliant book, The Untethered Soul, there's nothing more important to true growth than realizing that you are not the voice of the mind, you are the one who hears it. Be in love with that one.